Hello and welcome to another episode of the Kid Stories Podcast. I'm Phil Bechtel. Now on to some shout-outs. Harry and Anna from Alberta, Canada are big fans of the show. Thanks for that drawing of a gloop, Harry. I think if you two were characters in the stories, you would be members of the Space Defense League, and you would travel through space with your robot friends battling evildoers. Thanks for listening, Harry and Anna. Ari from Portland, Oregon, shared a pretty incredible drawing of a tree beast. Great job, Ari. I think if you were a character in the stories, you would be Ari of the Stars, and you and your dog Lady would travel from planet to planet, recording all the different people and worlds. Thanks for listening, Ari. Today's episode is titled Too Much Magic Part 4. Last time, on Too Much Magic Part 3, Liam and Owen began to steal the things they need to create a warp bracelet in order to get back home. Again, the group leaned over Halva's kitchen table, taking notes and making plans. "What's the next thing?" Liam asked Renner. "The diamond ribbon," said Renner. "The prince of a nearby kingdom wears it pretty much all the time. He wraps it around his wrist like a bracelet." Okay, so maybe he takes it off to sleep," Owen thought out loud. We could sneak in at night." "Well, there's a problem," said Renner. "This prince, he's like a really good guy. They call him the Orphan Prince because he's built so many orphanages and schools for needy kids. Everyone loves him." Liam and Owen sighed and considered this. They wanted to get home at all costs, but stealing from a good person, a guy called the Orphan Prince, no less, seemed like a bad idea. They couldn't make it make sense in their minds. The brothers shared a look, and Liam told Renner, "Yeah, we can't steal from a good person. We don't even like stealing from the bad ones. Isn't there some other place where we can get a diamond ribbon?" "Nope," explained Renner. "The diamond mines dried up long before I was even born. There hasn't been a new diamond pulled from this ground in a century, maybe. So diamonds are extremely rare, especially diamond ribbon. You see, we need to put the warp crystals on the obsidian bracelet and then wrap it in the diamond ribbon. It's the only way." The room went silent for a moment when Halva, who had been listening in while cleaning up the kitchen, offered a suggestion. "Why don't you just ask him for it?" The three lifted their heads up from the table. "Ask the prince for his diamond ribbon?" said Renner. "That's absurd. Why would he give us the ribbon?" "Well, maybe you can make a deal or something," added Halva. "Either way, if you're not going to steal it and there's nothing else like it, then you're going to have to just ask for it." With that, Halva left the kitchen and left the others to their thoughts. "She's right," said Owen. Liam nodded. "Yeah, we've got to give it a shot." Renner, who was used to stealing to get what they wanted, was unsure of this strategy of asking nicely, but was willing to go along with it. The three mounted horses, and the brothers and their pets followed Renner to the nearby kingdom. They reached the prince's castle before nightfall. It was a castle like any other. A big wooden door, a few towers, some guards milling about. They tied up their horses, and Renner led them around the side of the huge stone building where a small group of people were tending to a modest garden. The prince was easy to spot, mostly because of the shiny ribbon wrapped up his arm from his wrist nearly to his elbow. It looked like any other ribbon you might wrap a present with, but it caught the sunlight and shined and sparkled brightly with many colors. The guards did not seem too concerned with their presence until they noticed Kylo and Element. As the group neared the prince, the guards raised their spears and moved to block them from the prince. "State your business," one of the guards commanded. Renner stopped and said, loud enough for the prince to hear, "We seek an audience with the prince." "What are these creatures that accompany you? Are they dangerous?" the guard asked. "Not to you," said Liam. "They follow our commands." The guards remained in a defensive posture while the prince approached. "Wow, these are your animals? I've never seen anything like them. Where are they from?" he asked. The prince cautiously knelt down to pet Kylo and Element, who always welcomed cuddles. "Well, we're not from around here," said Owen. "Not even close. That's why we came to find you." The prince was curious and looked up to Liam and Owen. "Go on then," he said. We slipped here on accident," said Owen. "We're trying to make warp bracelets to get back home, and in order to do so, we need your diamond ribbon. Is it for sale or trade?" The prince absent-mindedly ran his fingers across the ribbon. "A warp bracelet. You must be the ones who stole those obsidian bracelets from Mondo the other day," the prince said, in sort of a question. Liam and Owen couldn't keep the look of guilt from their faces, and didn't even need to answer. "Don't worry about it," said the prince. "Mondo had it coming. He's the worst. But, I can't help but notice you didn't come here to steal from me." "Well, we were told you were a good prince," said Liam. "My brother and I couldn't justify stealing from someone like you." "I see. Well, as you may know, this ribbon is extremely valuable," said the prince. "What do you propose as payment?" Liam and Owen looked at each other, and then at Renner, hoping they had something up their sleeve, something valuable enough to pry this diamond ribbon from the prince. Renner sighed and looked at the ground. We have nothing even close to the value of that ribbon. All of our possessions put together would only be a fraction of what that's worth." "I appreciate your honesty," said the prince. "But if only honesty would compel me to give this up, I would have handed it out long ago. Perhaps a trade of service, then." The prince looked to the guards standing nearby, and they nodded slightly. "We've been having a problem here lately, and it's, something has taken up residence in the abandoned diamond mines. The mines and tunnels run beneath this kingdom, beneath our homes and roads and fields, and even under this castle. Something or someone is down there. They've been stealing our livestock and attacking our caravans. It's gotten so bad that no one travels at night, and my citizens fear for their lives." "What is it?" asked Renner, thinking that perhaps the prince knew more than he was letting on. The prince looked to one of the guards nearby and nodded to him. The guard turned to Liam and Owen and explained. "On a patrol the other night, we were setting up camp north of the creek. It was already dark. We didn't have time to start a campfire." The guard appeared nervous and emotional, telling his story. Sweat beaded up on his forehead as he spoke. "It was a beast. It came at us suddenly and without warning. I can't say its true form. It was a creature of the shadows, and it attacked with ferocity. Our swords, they simply bounced off of it. We ran all through the night until we reached the castle. We barely escaped with our lives." Liam and Owen looked at each other, wondering what awful monsters lived underground in this world. "You get rid of the beast, and I'll give you the ribbon," said the prince. They didn't really want to travel through some abandoned mines looking for a monster to slay, but it didn't seem like they had a choice. "Okay, we'll do it," said Owen. "Good. You're welcome to the castle and anything inside," said the prince. "My guards will show you around. Let them know if you need anything else." And now, in a somber mood, Liam, Owen, and Renner followed the guards into the castle to prepare for a monster hunt. The end. Thanks for listening, friends. The website is kidstoriespodcast.com. The email is kidstoriespodcast@gmail.com. And you can find many hours more stories at patreon.com/kidstoriespodcast. Adios.